Hey, what is up, everybody? My name is Shakespeare, and welcome back to Horror Movie Month. I'm sorry, there's a... I think I got him. Anyway, guys, sorry about that. I had a little incident. Hey, what is up, everybody? My name is Shakespeare, and welcome back to Horror Movie Month. This week we are talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, I don't have a film of it because I don't actually own the film. I've only seen it once. I still remember it. We're talking about the original from 1974. Again, we only talk about original slashers. We're not talking about the remakes. If you want me to talk about one, I'll consider it. So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre takes place back in the 50s, roughly during, I think if I remember correctly, just before the 50s, they had an incident with a certain gentleman who was found with lots of human remains and in his home where he had dug up graves and he had used pieces of skin and of live human skin to make masks and body parts that he wore, which is kind of fucked up, really, but still. So we're going to be talking about this film. Very good film. So there are 5 people that we're going to be seeing in this entire film. Like last time, I'm going to be describing the film. I'm going to be saying what happens, and then that's it. And if I haven't said it already, spoiler! So our film starts with a small diagram, like a small little, kind of like Star Wars, with the thing that tells us what the film is based on, so on, or what's going to happen in the film. And then we get shown a grave where several graves have been dug up and bodies are missing, or body parts are missing. So then we get switched on to our group of 5 people, one of them of whom is in a wheelchair, who are driving from one end of the country to Texas to go to this gentleman's grandfather's house that was left to him in his inheritance. So what happens is they get flagged down by a gentleman who asks for a ride. And so, obviously, being nice people, they give him a ride. So he starts talking to them, they start talking to him. Then he goes, "Hey guys, you want to see something?" He lifts his hand, gets a knife, and cuts from end to end of his palm. Everybody freaks out, naturally, as they do. You kick him out. So they kick him out and they drive away, because it's kind of fucking weird to have a guy cut his hand with no expression, which is what they talk about on the way back. And so they stop at the local gas station and ask for directions because they're not too sure where they are. Sorry about that. And so, also he offers them, he's like, "Yo, we sell barbecue here." It's like ribs, sausages, so on. That comes in later, but we won't talk about that right now. And so, the next thing that happens is they get to the road and they get to the house. And they decide, alright, let's go explore, as every teenage 20-year-old in horror films does. Let's explore the surroundings. Nothing bad could possibly happen. But you in a horror movie, of course something's gonna happen. So what happens is 2 of them decide to walk off. They're like, and obviously they come near her house. The guy goes, "Stay here, I'm gonna check it out." So she sits on the porch for a little bit, and when he doesn't come back, she goes to investigate. She finds him dead, lying on the table, blood coming out the back of his head. She's like, and then Leatherface, who is actually on my t-shirt, he's right there, who is famous for his mask, which is composed of human skin that covers his deformed or scarred face. I think it's deformed. And she gets chased by him. And when she runs, she almost makes it out the front door. Almost. She makes it out the front door, but Leatherface grabs her just as she gets to the front door, and he drags her back in. And if you remember the poster from, I think I have a photo of it somewhere. I think I put a photo of it up on my tablet. . 'Cause 2 seconds. I hear it. If you remember this photo from... This is the poster that they had. Who will survive the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I don't know if you can see it very well. I can barely see it. I'm standing right here. So put that there. There we go. Which, as you can see, we have Leatherface and a girl holding onto a piece of metal. That's because Leatherface grabs her and sticks a hook through her back. If you've ever played Dead by Daylight, basically what the people who chase you do, that's what happens to her. Any to whom. So what happens next is, obviously, while she's screaming and kind of becoming lifeless, Leatherface chugs up his chainsaw and starts cutting into her boyfriend. But they do it in the traditional 70s. We have no CGI effects. So that was... Like, you know, your brain's supposed to create what it's supposed to be doing, but also you can see nothing happening, if that makes sense. So, also next, the people are like, yo, where are they? We gotta go find them. And so our friend who was driving with an afro and which looked and dressed kind of like a 70s person, kind of like somebody from the 70s. That's the way he's dressed, really. Goes, I'll go look for them. Now it's midday by now, so the sun's starting to go down, but it's not down enough to get worried. Sorry about this. I don't know what's up with me. Anywho, and so he comes across the house as well, and he goes in to have a look, and he sees, obviously, there's bunches of bones, and, like, human and animal bones lying around the place. And now, it's a very antique house, and there's one metal door at the far end of the house, like, just next to the stairs, just right there, where the, Americans would keep the back of their house. Where the back of your house is, pretty much. Anywho, let's go back to our thing. And so he gets real close to the door, and he goes to touch the door, and Leatherface pulls the door open, and goes, ah! And our friend screams like a little girl, and he gets his skull crushed by a big old mallet. And he gets his body pulled away. Leatherface closes the door. So, and our two people who are left are like, we gotta go find it. We gotta go find our three friends, get the fuck out of here. And so they go looking. The boy in the wheelchair insists on going, even though they're in slightly rugged terrain, because they're in a very rural part of Texas, aka the country. And if you've ever been to the country, not in Texas, country anywhere, it's not very good to be in a wheelchair, because there's shit everywhere that you have to go around. So, obviously, so she's pushing him, he's got the torch in his hand, and then he shines his torch to... Also, so they can see, shines his torch one way. Leatherface is right in front of him with the chainsaw. Brings the chainsaw down on him and kills him. Funny fact, that's the only person who ever gets chainsawed live on the entire film. Like, properly. Like, it's properly executed with a chainsaw. You could say he got chainsawed, but technically, the boyfriend got chainsawed, but not really, because he was already dead. Anywho, back to the discussion at hand. What the fuck is wrong with me today? God damn. Anywho. Anyway, and so she runs, and then Leatherface runs after her. But because he can't find her, he runs back to the house with our friend in the wheelchair, and she manages to find her way to the gas station. She tells the gentleman, there's a guy chasing her, you gotta help me, it's a guy with a chainsaw chase. So he's like, okay, calm down. And then he knocks her out. Why would he do that, you would ask? Well, later she awakes and hears arguing. And it turns out Leatherface's dad owns the gas station. And so he gets angry with Leatherface going, did you let anyone else get away? How could you let her get away? And he's... Leatherface can't talk about it, he just makes noises. So he points to the corner where our friend's wheelchair is folded up and opens the fridge to show there's someone in there. The girl's still hung up. So, and the other pieces of the other guy are in there with our friend who looks like he's from the 60s or 70s disco. And so obviously they bring their You remember our friend who cut his palm? Yeah, he turns up and turns out that's Leatherface's brother. Happy family. You think that couldn't get any worse? No, they bring their really, really super mega old granddad down, who's like a million years old, because you can literally see his bones coming through his skin. That's how old he is. It gets to the point where he can't move a muscle himself. He's just there. He's like an ornament. And so they put a hammer in Granddad's hand and like kind of bounce his hand down and go, come on, Granddad, you can do it, you can do it. And he keeps missing, and then eventually he hits her. Leatherface picks up a hammer, boom, knocks her out. And then they tie her to a chair, and they have food. Funny fact though, there's a part where they cut her finger and they put it in Granddad's mouth, and he starts drinking her blood from her finger, which is kind of fucking weird, really. But they couldn't, back in '74, the best way to do that was a tube tied to the end of the finger. They couldn't get the tube to work, so they had to physically slash the girl's finger to get it to work. So her scream when she goes, ow, my finger, was like, ah, my finger! That's real. Because also, if you've ever slashed yourself, by mistake, obviously. If you've ever slashed yourself by mistake, you know it hurts like a motherfucker. So, and then they're having food. So she wakes up, they're eating, and she screams. They scream at her back. She screams, they scream back. And she's like, oh, you don't have to let them do this. You can stop them. Talking to the dad. Because the son, who cut his palm, decides, let's kill her right now. And he's like, oh, you're scared of him. And then the son kind of gets offended. He's like, oh, you're scared of him? He's just a cook. You don't need to be scared of him. Because the dad doesn't like killing people. He just knows the best way to get rid of them, which is selling them to his gas station customers. So, and she manages to wriggle free of her restraints, and she runs around the house pretty much while Leatherface is trying to chase her. Her brother, like his brother's chasing as well, but he's not as good because he isn't scary. So she ends up jumping from the second story of the building, the top of the house, and lands. She's fine. And so she managed to run to a highway, flags down an oil truck, where the guy comes out. He's like, are you okay? The Leatherface turns up. And obviously, and he's like, oh, what the fuck? He gets in the truck, and he ends up, because he brought a wrench with him, he throws it, hits the Leatherface in the face. He falls, the chainsaw lands on his leg, and he runs off as far as he can. Another truck comes by, the brother jumps in front of it, and he gets run over. But the girl manages to flag down this pickup truck, jumps in. Leatherface does his famous chase scene, and she's like, go, 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 and then she starts breaking down into laughter, because if you've ever been scared like you're gonna die, and then you start laughing because you're not dead, that's what she starts to do. So yeah. So that is the film. So that's basically what the film's about. So guys, I'm just checking something. Anyway, so guys, our next episode should be on Sunday. It's Thursday today. So, wait, is it Sunday? What day is it today? It's Thursday. No, our next episode should be Saturday. Sorry, what the fuck am I doing? What is today? My brain has died on me just there. Yeah, it is Thursday. Alright, our next episode should be on Saturday, because I'm doing it every 2 days. And we shall be talking about The Shining with Jack Nicholson. That should be very fun. And I think our friend woke up. Alright guys, before he managed to find me, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at the Shaneski, at Shaneski180, that's ShaneSki 180. Oh, crap. Follow me on Instagram at the Shaneski, that's _Shaneski. Remember, if you ever go to Texas, don't eat foreign meat. Alright guys, that's all the time I have right now. Thank you, and goodbye.